My name is Amal Nirgurkar. I'm the CEO of Patient Prism. I'm excited to have Diwakar Sinha in our studios this afternoon. He is the Chief Development Officer and partner at Tusk Partners. And I've been intrigued with Tusk since their inception in 2016. And I'm really having him here to talk about a lot of things in the dental M&A space. But really, my first question for him is really, why was Tusk formed? What role do you fit? Where do you fit in the dental space?
So that's a great question. So TUS was founded in 2016 because we saw there was a void in the space. There's a lot of these big investment banks that are focusing on the larger group practices. You have the solo practice brokers that do a really good job in the solo space, which is a doctor-to-doctor trade.
Sure.
And really, there was no one else in the middle providing boutique M&A advisory services. So that's one of the verticals that we were able to work on TUS Partners early on in the process. But to get to that journey of having that exit event, we found that there was no one else providing strategic guidance on how to scale their business, or should they even start the journey to build their DSO.
Sure.
There's a lot of great operational consultants in the business.
Sure.
We're more of a C-level consultant where we're providing strategic advice on how to scale their business. And that really starts for us from a full-day deep dive for almost all of our clients. We want to kind of go through the building blocks of a DSO, what it takes, what the journey looks like,
Sure.
what is the end strategy potentially going to be, and some of our clients come and attend that event and decide the DSO is not the journey they want to be on.
Okay.
Most of them are pretty excited about the opportunity and work with us on the services afterwards to help them scale their business.
So let's say you go to the deep dive. Day one, it's a whole day process, right? Do they have to provide you some information beforehand before you get a deep dive, or is it everything happens in the same day?
No, so if it's so we've had private equity groups come into our event, so we're not getting financials from them. But if it's a 2, 3, 20 location group, we are getting their last year's financials and some kind of production just to get a high level review of their business.
Sure.
We typically go to dinner with them the night before to understand their individual goals.
Sure.
And in the full day deep dive, 60 to 70% of it is structured to what we think is important for them as they're building their DSO.
Sure.
The other 30% is customized to their individual needs. And we do want to make sure that they leave that day with as much information as they can on how to grow their business and what that journey looks like.
So let's say at the end of the journey, at the end of the day, they decide that that's the route they want to go to. They want to scale. They want to build a dental support organization. What comes next with Tusk?
Yeah, so if they're deciding to go build their DSO, we want to do a full due diligence on their business, understand their financial, operational metrics in the business, look at their exit number. We do ask that question again.
Okay.
That is very important to us because we work with the end in mind. So if somebody tells us a $10 million number or a $20 million number,
Sure.
we really want to understand what went behind it. Or was it just a number out of thin air?
Thin air, yeah.
Right. So we'll do full financial analysis. Takes us about 45 to 60 days to kind of run through the business.
Okay.
And then we'll do an on-site visit. And because each DSO has unique things that work for it
Sure.
and things that need to be improved upon. And then from there, the client actually comes sees us for another 30 to 45 day review. And we're on site every 90 days.
Okay.
We're updating financial and operational metrics every 90 days, and we're on site every 90 days. So we work on a 90-day action plan.
And how long is this? Is it a year process?
On the average, it's a year. Our goal is to empower the client to be able to build their group practice independent of us, and if they're ever going to have an exit event, that they come back to Tusk.
And during that process, you determine what's missing in the structure, right? In terms of scaling, do they need a call center? Do they need a financing to kind of acquire or build more practices? Do they need any other support infrastructure? Is that the needs analysis is done by you guys?
The needs analysis is done by us, yeah, and that
Okay.
again, it takes about 45 to 60 days. It's very comprehensive.
Okay.
We look at all the financial and operational metrics and benchmark it. So if XYZ, if the wage expense for assistants is high,
Okay.
we want to be able to look at the reason why. And we're not really concerned about, whenever we do this analysis on a dollar amount, as much as we're concerned about the percentage. That seems to be more important to us. And then after that, we are working on, if they're looking to go to a financial route, then we will work on leadership, infrastructure. They may now do a DSO structure. They may now do a call center.
Sure.
Versus if they're going toward a strategic route, and if they're going to end their journey around 5 to 10 locations, we may not do the centralization route.
So it depends. It's really customized advice based on where they are. But you also kind of hold them accountable for the plan, because obviously that you were working towards the number and you're going backwards.
That's correct.
And then you're saying that you need A, B, C, D, E to get to where you want to be. But in that process, every 90 days, do you kind of say, hey guys, here's what we decided we would do in these 90 days, but here's where we are. So do you kind of keep them real and keep them accountable?
Yeah, we're on weekly, if not daily, calls with our clients.
Okay.
But we do have a 90-day follow-up.
Okay.
But if we do an on-site visit and we lay out a plan for the next 90 days,
Okay.
We're talking at least once a month, which is a scheduled call.
Sure.
But we're willing to talk to our client as much as needed to make sure they achieve their 90-day plan. And we do hold them accountable to achieving their end goal.
And so now you've gotten them there. They're ready to sell. Can you help them sell as well? Like, would you find them buyers, whether it's a PE group or it's a strategic investor? Would you go that route with them in terms of your services?
Yeah. So once we've achieved whatever the platform goals were, of 5 locations or 25, we'll have a sit down with the client, understand their exit goals, if they're going to be looking to stay on board post sale for a year or 2 years,
Sure.
or they're willing to grow with that partner. And that partner could be strategic or financial.
Okay.
And based on that, we're going to kind of go in one direction or the other, which is either strategic or financial.
Sure.
And then as we go through that process, we will do work with the client to do all the due diligence to make sure that the purchaser they're going to sell their business to has the right experience and background to take on their opportunity.
And you're helping in the sale in the sale. You're helping your clients to kind of make sure they get the highest valuation. Is that what the goal is?
The valuation is one component of it. We
Okay.
focus on structure over price.
Okay.
If somebody offers you a 10x of multiple, which we hear very common in this space,
Sure.
and it's 25 million, but you're only getting 50% of that cash at close,
Sure.
versus somebody else is giving you an 8x multiple and they're giving you 80% cash at close. Which one's the better solution? So we always focus on structure over price.
So that makes a lot of sense, because it's not only about people talk about multiples all the time, and EBITDA multiples is used several times. So it's equally important to understand how much money you're getting now and what eventually your earnout's going to be, and those details and negotiations are important.
The post-sale agreements are crucial, and then I think that's something that we work with our clients on as we're going through the sell-side process. We want to understand their goals, we want to line them with the right purchasers, and make sure that's a good fit for them long term.
And this is fascinating. So Tusk can kind of help them from A to Z, identifying whether they need to be a DSO all the way to the eventual sale and exit. It looks like a comprehensive suite of services that you can help DSOs with. So wonderful. Thank you so much for this information.
Well, thank
We'll
you so
talk
much
more.
for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.